Alright, hello everyone. So today we will see a Silver 3 Kog'Maw game. Let's go ahead and get started. So first thing I want to talk about is your choice of summoner spells here. Looks like you went for Ghost Flash. So this is not very standard anymore on 80 carries. This is like way back in the day, like Season 1 80 carry masteries. Maybe even before Season 1 actually, I mean summoner spells. But so um, these are two escape summoner spells. These will keep you really mobile and hard to get in fights. But the problem is, look at this lane you're against. As Leona, that's a very high burst damage, very high damage lane. And with these summoner spells, if you ever get hit by Leona E, you're pretty much gonna die, especially after 6 when she can just completely lock you down. You won't have that barrier to help absorb some of that burst and you're just gonna die. So against a burst lane like this, I would really recommend barrier. That's really where barrier shines. It's against an aggressive bursty lane. So I think that Ghost Splash is really, it's not bad on Kog'Maw by any means. And if it wasn't such an aggressive all-in lane, I think it would probably be okay. But in this situation, um, I would definitely recommend you stick with the barrier, flash barrier, be your best bet.
Minions have spawned.
Let's go ahead and get started. Just put you up here. Okay, so in general when you're playing Kog'Maw, Kog'Maw is pretty weak early, but around when he hits level 5, he becomes very strong. He has a very interesting power curve. When he hits around level 5, the range bonus from your W and the damage it deals gets huge with a rank 3 W, and that's where you can really start bullying people out of lane. But in general with Kog'Maw, you want to try to trade when your W is up, as you're going to be strong. And when your W is up, you trade, and you dodge SQs in this matchup. Your W up, you trade, and you dodge their crap. That's pretty much how this matchup is going to work. So in your level 2 right here, you should be a little more aggressive. You have a big creep wave, and you have a level 2 advantage. So you can afford to be a little aggressive here. Leona can't all in you when she's level 1, so like don't be so afraid. You know, don't let Ez get these last hits unmolested right here when you have this level advantage. It's the whole reason to push early like you did. You get this level 2 advantage, and then you play very aggressively with it. You can zone him completely. You can zone them completely away with that level 2 advantage. Just make sure you're paying attention. You could have easily gotten a W auto attack off right there. When Zyra landed that root, a W auto attack and an E for harass. You're full mana. You might as well use some of that mana for harass. If you're ever full mana, your mana regen stat is being completely wasted. So I never like to be full mana. Always try to be at least a little under full mana, just so that you're not wasting your mana regen. You could have E'd and W'd there for some good harass. There's essentially no reason not to. Once again, Zyra lands that root, hit him with that E. Just get some harass out on him. It's 4 minutes into this lane and you haven't touched the enemy yet. That's the first time you've harassed the enemy champion. 4 minutes into the lane, you have one auto attack. Zyra's doing work. She's trying to harass. She's trying to zone, and you're not helping at all. So against the Leona lane, and this is the same for any of these melee all-in supports like Leona, Blitzcrank, Alistar, their weakness is poke. You need to poke them down, avoid their engages, and punish them when they mess up their engages. And you need to poke. Zyra's doing a really good job. She's pressuring them really hard, trying to get a lot of poke damage out, and you're not helping her. She's burned through 2 HP potions and is half health because you're not helping her poke. And it doesn't seem like her poke is being effective because you're just not helping her. You have no presence in the lane. All you're doing is last hitting, and you've gotten one auto attack off on the enemy champion in 4 minutes. It's not okay. You need to play more aggressive and get more harass off, especially against melee champions like Leona. They're very weak to poke. So Punish says, you have nothing to last hit right now. Look to auto attack him. Right here, you gotta auto attack him. Flip on that W and start punishing him. So first thing already in this lane, you are playing so passively. You are letting your support get beat up because you are just not helping your punish. You're not helping her harass at all. So biggest thing so far is you've got to poke them down. And Zyra's dead. And this is a direct consequence from you playing too scared and not poking enough. Zyra ended up taking a lot of damage. She ended up being half health, already burning through her mana potions because you're not helping her last hit. I'm sorry, you're not helping her harass. You're not backing her up. Because of that, she got low and she was able to die to the Leona. So biggest thing so far in your game, you have got to help your support. We'll see how you end up on last hits. If you get most of these under the tower, you should be pretty even. Don't get zoned out from that last. Oh, I see you're going for the Uter kill. That's okay. Unfortunately, you're able to force Uter's flash, but you literally just missed 8 minions for doing that. You could have been even if you got all those minions. Let's count exactly how many minions you just missed. Okay, so the point you turn her away right here, you miss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 minions, so you would have been 1 CS down. Alright, so the biggest thing in lane is you need to poke, especially against the Leona lane. You have to poke, you have to poke. You have to back up your support if they're playing aggressive too. You're missing so many last hits here. That's not good. At this point, now that you're level 5, your W is pretty big. One thing I would recommend picking up a point in Q instead of the second point in E. Let's just analyze why. So let me pull up the Kog'Maw E ability and see what you got for putting a second point. So for putting a second point in Void Ooze, your damage went up by 50. So your damage went up by 50. Your slow went up to 28%, and your mana cost went up by 10 mana. But just putting a single rank in Q gives you a 60 damage nuke that reduces the enemy's MR and armor by 5, so that's a pretty big deal, and gives you passively 10% attack speed. In general in this game, the first point in an ability is very efficient for a single point, and then adding more points is not as efficient. So very rarely do you want to go to level 4 even without leveling all 3 of your abilities. It's very rare. So I definitely recommend you gotta put an early point in Q. Even leveling Q is after W, of course, is really not that bad. You got a W here. You W'd so late, I had no idea. If you W'd earlier, you might have killed Leona, honestly. Anytime you're fighting, use your W. Big thing so far in your play is, like, you're so shy about using your W. Oh, maybe it was on cooldown. Okay, it was on cooldown, my bad. Okay, so, okay, you used it right when it got out. Never mind that. So, that's my bad. It was on cooldown. But that's fine. You guys force Leona flash, that's good. You're still down like 10 CS here, though. Mumu's still here. They don't know he's there, as did just miss that Q. You guys can take advantage of this. But once again, guys saying, be aggressive. There you go. There's the auto attack harass I've been looking for all game. Flip on that W, get some harass. Flip on that W, get some harass. All day. It was really bad early game. You need to punish Leona. If she's not all in, and you need to poke her down and poke Ez down. So the thing with all in supports like Leona, they have a choice. They either all in you hard and go on and engage, which is by itself inherently risky. Okay, good gank. Good job throwing the backup or the ooze zone. Okay, so when you're going against an all in support, they have two choices. They can all in you, which is a risky engage, because if it's not a good engage and they end up losing, then they're stuck in this all in and they can't get out of it. Or they don't all in, which means the lane is effectively 2v1 because their support is doing nothing. And that's what you have to punish. You have to punish the all in supports that don't go all in and play passively. It's 2v1. If you back your Zyra up when she's poking, Ez can't do anything about this 2v1 poke that he's going to have. He's going to get chunked out because of it. So missing last hits with 0 pressure on you is really bad. You should get mad at yourself. If you ever miss a last hit just because you missed it, not because they're pressuring you and you're trying to avoid taking damage, or you just missed it, that's bad, and you should be mad at yourself about that. Okay. So far in this lane, you gotta poke. You gotta poke better. You gotta help your Zyra out. She's playing aggressive and poking. She ends up getting chunked for it because she's just trading damage with Ez that you could help, you know, flip that trade around. Like right here, you have nothing to last hit. Punish Ez for these last hits. Like, okay, I'm gonna go slow-mo in this lane real quick. You have nothing to last hit, right? Ez is gonna last hit this one. Okay, actually you do have things to last hit, so this is bad timing. So you're gonna get these two. Okay, when Ez goes to last hit this guy, because it's almost dead, you punish. Just like that, that's really good. Now you're gonna get all in, which is fine, because you have someone here. So this is what I'm talking about, that you need to do early. This is a really good example of how you want to do it. And this is exactly what I was just talking about. Zyra dies to Ez ult, which is really unfortunate. But, no reason to flash there. Really bad flash on your part. Not only was the kill pretty much secured, but you can always just ult. He was so low that a single ult from you would kill him. So you could just throw that ult out to pick up that kill. But anyway, this is a really good example of what you do. You get aggressive and you get that poke, and that forces them to either all in you or just sit there and effectively have a 2v1. Okay, so you've gotten a lot of help from your team in this lane, which is good, because you guys would be losing this lane pretty well if you're not getting so camped. You're getting tons and tons and tons of help from your lanes, which is good, really good. The biggest thing in your play so far is you need to pick up those last hits and get better at last hitting. There's no reason for you to be down in CS in this lane. You've had very little pressure put on you to avoid you from CSing. The other thing is you have to back up your support and poke down in a lane like this. So good. This is perfect. You just dodge the... Okay, good. You dodge the Leona E, you punish really hard, and this is good. So you're starting to play much more aggressively. Then you get caught by Leona, which is not good. That's unfortunate. So this is the burst I'm talking about, and why you want barrier, and not ghost. I think you ghosted there, and ghost literally didn't help you. If you had barrier, you could have barriered a lot of that burst. You do have to be really careful about getting Leona ulted. The stun is actually pretty hard to hit. If you're paying attention, you can almost always dodge the stun of Leona ult. Like if as soon as you saw that cast, you walked this way, you could dodge the stun. You will still get hit by the slow, but the stun is something you don't want to get hit by. So in that situation, two things could have saved you. One was having barrier instead of ghost, and the other was just dodging that stun, which is very dodgeable if you pay attention, you react fast enough. But that was still a good play. I mean, that's ideally what you want to do. You know, Leona wastes that E, you want to punish. You just ended up getting caught by the ult, which is unfortunate. And Ez is also really strong, so he's able to blow you up. Okay, so don't walk into that bush. Really big mistake by that. That's gonna cause your death for sure. Don't do that. You don't have vision in this bush, and you just face checked it. So let's see exactly what vision. Maybe you didn't have York, didn't know York was there. So you see 3 of them, but then your teammates are low. You don't have vision of this bush. Or actually, you kind of do. And then you lost vision of that bush. You actually see the flash and see York come down, and you walk right up to that bush. Such a big mistake by you. You can't face check bushes as Kog'Maw. You need to take advantage of your really long range with W on and your R, and really just stay far away from everything. You work suiciding. Pick up that kill. So dying like that, when you're 80 carry and you die, you come back and you die again, it's never good because it puts you really far behind in farm. And so you guys were pretty much even in farm. Now Ez has this 13 CS lead on you. Actually, it'll be less. It'll be less than 10, since you're last hitting and he's not here. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, dogs are freaking out. Okay. So anyway, in this lane, biggest thing is you got to poke early. Yusai was playing very aggressive, doing a good job getting a lot of poke damage, and you were not. You were playing very passively. And at this point now, they're pretty strong. You know, they have... actually, you guys are even in levels, pretty even in items, so you guys are actually just fine. So very good play here, but it's dangerous to chase this far into their jungle when you don't know where anyone on their team is. Especially where the enemy jungle is. So you guys are going to get punished here. So that was good aggression though. Pretty much how your 2v2s are going to work out is this. If you get locked down by Leona, you're going to lose. And if you don't, you're going to win every fight. So that's pretty much how your 2v2s are going to go down. Especially because you don't have barrier. If you get stun locked, you're going to die every single time. Alright, so good job getting some damage there. We're pretty low on mana, which is unfortunate. But just always try to keep enough mana for W, essentially. W is like the core of your... Not sure what masters you're running, but I would definitely recommend going 2109 on Kog'Maw. Pick up some mana regen in the utility tree, it'll help you out a lot, because you do end up using a fair amount of mana. Yeah, once again, like, you have no pressure on you right now when it comes to CSing, so just don't miss any of them. And at this point in the game, it gets a lot harder to miss CS because you do so much damage. Ooh, that face check was not good. Alright, but you guys pick up the kill. So that's where Zyrus is worth. Really dangerous dive though, because once again you don't know where the jungle is. And I think you're going to die for that one because you don't have summoners. Don't forget to use your Blade of Ruin King though. No Blade of Ruin King. Might have saved you. Kinda doubt it, but it would have given you more life, and it would have made your slower, and it would have made you faster. So that Blade of Ruin King, it certainly would have made it so Udyr couldn't dive. And it might have saved you. So don't forget to use your active items. Just bad mistake there. It may have ended up saving you, it's hard to tell. Spook Calling is always bottom. It's helping you out a lot. So this is one thing I want to talk about. You're doing okay in this lane, just okay. And the fact that you're pretty much even in this lane is bad. It's actually a bad thing. Because you have had so much help from your team. Amumu has come down here many times. Dukong has come down here many times. Yorick's been down here like once, and Udyr has been down here for counter ganks a couple times. But you've had a lot more help from your team than the enemy team has bot lane, so you should be winning. Instead, you're just even. That's not good. That means your team has devoted a lot of resources and effort into this lane to just be even, and that's not great. And so part of that is you've missed a lot of CS that you shouldn't have. That's part of it. Another part is you gotta poke early against this lane. Like, you have to poke and punish by poking and then avoid getting caught. That's how you win this lane. This is a very skill-based lane. If you get caught by Leona E and you get shut down, you're gonna die. And if you don't, and you dodge it and avoid it, and you're aggressive though, then you're gonna win. Excuse me. So this is a pretty boring lane when Leona doesn't decide to go in at all. And this is once again, you gotta help out. Okay, I want to rewind this because this is a mistake I see a lot of players make in bot lane. It's something that's really important. What the heck? What the heck? That's not where Zyra is. Okay, let's try to rewind that again. And, okay, it's not really liking this. Zyra's running in place, you're running in place. You guys are just jogging, just chilling and jogging. Okay, maybe it'll catch up. Anyway, is this where you guys actually are? Okay, so I think this is where you actually are. But here's Leona just went on Zyra. Um, I'm pretty sure she just eat to Zyra. I'm not sure if the cooldowns are accurate. Yeah, I don't think the cooldowns are accurate. But she just went on Zyra. Don't go on Leona. Just bum rush this Ezreal. Go 100% on this Ezreal. If they're gonna go on your support, you say, okay, that's fine, and you ignore the support and rush the AD carry. Because you could just absolutely demolish this Ezreal right now, since they decided to go on the Zyra. Okay, okay. A lot of replay's looking out. Anyway, I love how everyone's just jogging in place. Hopefully it gets normal. Okay. So right there, you should all end Ezreal. Bot lane, if you can, you should always go for the support. If they go on your support, especially, this is something that's really hard to do against like all-in champions like this, when they all-in you and they're in your face, it's really hard to ignore them and just walk past them to get to the AD carry, but that's what you want to do. Okay, so there you can't get Leona Eid. And this is kind of what I was talking about with the problems with Ghost Flash. You had both summoners up and they didn't even help you here. You get Leona Eid, and then you flash, and then I guess you ghost right before you die. But like you're dead anyway. So you have to flash Leona E in that situation. That's the proper use of flash. You can't flash after, you're gonna die. This Nasus is absolutely huge, and if he touches you, you're gonna die, pretty much. So you have to realize, you have to recognize the danger of that Leona E, realize that this Leona E will kill you if you get caught by it, and you have to flash it. And so it's hard to make that call because A, you have to have the mechanical skill to flash the E when you see it, which is just reaction time. There's two parts to that. One is anticipating it and being ready for it. You see Leona walk up to you, you're like, okay, I'm ready for the E, I'm gonna flash it. You have this game plan. And then B, you have to, actually react fast enough to flash it. And then the other thing is that you have to have the game sense to recognize that this E is something you have to flash or you will die. So there's kind of three parts to making that proper play right there. But you guys are in pretty serious trouble this game. Your team devoted most of its gank pressure early and throughout the game on bottom, and as a result, Nasus is huge. Nasus is absolutely crushed. He's massive, and the reason why is because Wukong, I guess, got owned in lane. He started roaming bot to try to help you out a lot, and you guys didn't end up winning the lane with that. So you guys are in a really, really bad shape because you didn't win bottom lane despite your team essentially camping it. And now Nasus is huge. But the enemy team went really dumb, and you can definitely take advantage of the fact that you just killed 3 of them. And so the game's not in terrible shape after that throw by the enemy team. So it's solo queue, there's always throws. You guys can still win this. But so since we're kind of out of the laning phase, I just want to say, biggest things in the laning phase is you gotta CS when there's no pressure on you. You should get every single CS. In a lane like Leona Ezreal, there's no pressure on you unless Leona's playing aggressive and trying to go in on you, and she wasn't. She didn't go in on you at all until like level 6. You should get every single one of those last hits. The other thing is you gotta help out your support and poke, because I was playing very aggressive and poking very hard, you just weren't backing her up. So she can't trade with Ezreal by herself, but you guys can absolutely crush Ezreal in a 2v1 trade. And then that forces Leona to either all in, which is risky for her, because she's got to all in into you and into your creeps, especially early. So that level 2 advantage you guys got early, you have to be aggressive with that. Be very, very aggressive with that. You built up, there's 2 things that happen. You get level 2 first, which is a big advantage because you get an extra ability on them, and the base stats difference between level 1 and 2 is rather big. So you're way stronger because you're level 2 and they're level 1. And you have this big, big creep wave to work with, that if that Leona wants to do anything, she's going to have to E into you, and you had about 10 minions that are just going to wreck her if she does that. So you have to play more aggressive if you get that level 2 advantage like that. And then as far as this matchup goes, like post 6 and then later levels, it's a completely skill-based matchup. If you avoid getting hit by any of Leona's spells, you will crush them if you fight them. But if you get hit by them, you will die, especially without barrier. So let's watch this fight. Great Amumu ult, but why are you letting Yorick get on you? So you're forced to flash. You're not auto-attacking, you keep canceling your autos. So in a situation like this, try to send your R's on like the Ezreal so that you can help your team out by getting some damage on that Ezreal. Something you can do. Pretty much whenever your R is at 1 or 2 stacks, you want to try to use it. While you're running away, try to drop R's on Ezreal. Just the more you can chunk Ezreal, the harder it is going to be for him to chase and really go all in here. So you should be auto-attacking him right there when he steps in like that. That should be an auto-attack. So now you're dropping R's on Ezreal. But here you can switch to be more aggressive, turn on that W and start, you know, punishing. Bad node flash. Anyway, so the team fight was okay. Just keep your spacing, keep proper spacing against the enemy team. If you don't use attack move to kite, I really recommend it in team fight situations like that. It ensures that you're staying at your maximum range. So the problem is, let's say you want to fight this creep, or this Amumu, right? You're fighting this Amumu in a team fight. Option 1, you right click him, and that'll make him attack. And if you want to keep maximum range, you right click him, then you right click over here to move, and then you right click him again to attack, and then you right click over here to move. The problem and danger in this situation though is because you're moving your mouse back and forth a lot, there's some room for error, and if you misclick and click on the ground, guess what? You're moving directly into him. And that might have been what happened there, since it seemed like you took a step in. And that's really bad. If you ever move into an enemy champion like that, you're probably dead. And so what attack move does is if you A plus click, A plus left click, or shift plus right click, or whatever, A plus click is what I do. And I think you can hold shift and right click and it does the same thing. But A plus click is attack move, and what that does is you attack move a point on the ground. If you attack, so there's 2 situations. If you attack move a point on the ground, what it does is it says, I'm going to try to move here, but I'm going to attack anything hostile to me that gets in my range on the way. So if I attack move the ground over here, and this Amumu is an enemy champion, I would just instantly start attacking Amumu because he's already in my range. But if I was like way over here and I attack move the ground, I would walk all the way up until Amumu is in my range, and then I would start attacking him. Then once he's dead, I would continue moving to the point I clicked. If you attack move an enemy, it's just like right clicking them. So why that's important for kiting is if I want to kite this Amumu and stay at maximum range, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack move the ground right here. What that does is if Amumu is in my range, I'm just going to attack him. I'm going to attack the closest thing, which would be, if this is an enemy creep, it would be this creep, but if otherwise, it would be this Amumu. So I'm going to attack the ground right next to me. That just says attack the closest thing to me. You're going to auto attack right away if he's already in your range. And then I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to right click. And then I'm going to attack move the ground, and then I'm going to right click. And then I'm going to attack move the ground, and then I'm going to right click. And I'm going to attack move the ground, I'm going to right click. What this does is it ensures that you're never, ever, ever going to accidentally move towards the enemy. At least you might move towards them if they're not in your range to get to your maximum range, but you're never going to move in and get closer than your maximum range. And it also eliminates how much mouse movement you do, because you only have to go from going like here, clicking to move right here, to clicking the enemy champion. You're only going clicking to move right here to attack moving right here. So it's much smaller mouse movements, which means you can be more precise. There's less opportunity for error, etc. So anyway, brief lecture on attack move and using it to kite. You may already be doing that, but it's hard to tell sometimes. But that is something. Okay, so the game. I mean, the game's never over when you're Kog'Maw. You know, Kog'Maw is just such a late game terror. Good Blade of Ruin King to disengage off that. I'm glad you remembered your Blade of Ruin King that time. Problem is that Nasus is late game terror. They have 3 Iceborne Gauntlets on their team. How annoying. Sounds just awful to play against. Excuse me. So you have your 3 core items. So you're huge. You're gonna hit like an absolute truck right now. So you guys can fight if you can get a good engage. As long as you stay alive pretty much in fights, you're gonna be fine. So kind of there's a lot of pressure on you right now. If you stay alive in fights, you will absolutely wreck the enemy team. Lily got caught out right there, which is unfortunate. So get some auto attacks off right. Why are you not auto attacking right here? You gotta get auto attacks off. You have to, you have to, you have to, you have to. Get auto attacks off over this wall is a big thing you could be doing right now. You gotta get auto attacks off. An attack move is really, really helpful to stay at your maximum range. I mean, look at that. You're chunking. This Nasus is tanky as hell, and you're pretty much chunking him. So this is a 4v5, and you guys actually did pretty well. You can fight this. Like if you, okay, I was gonna say you gotta stay behind creeps for the SQ and watch out for don't let Nasus wither you, but you could have fought that if you played it a little better. So the name of the game is don't get withered. So you just got too close to Nasus. I wanna rewind this and just watch how close you get to him. So, if you're really close right here, but he backs off, and then you decide to go back in, but you gotta stay behind your minions for Ez, and then you just get too close. You're walking forward to try to R him because you think you're gonna run away, and you get too close. You get closer range than your attack range, which is bad. You never want to do that. So it's right here, right? You're chasing, you're like, oh, I'm gonna chase this guy. You cast your R and you take that step forward when he's already turned back. That crucial half-second reaction time right there costs you your life. And this is, you didn't keep proper spacing. And it's a really subtle thing, and I'm gonna go over it again. But watch, I'm gonna slow it way down. How much can I? Okay. Speed up. Okay, so right here, right? Nasus is running away. You decide to turn aggressive. Two bad things you did in this situation. You are, and then take a step forward when he's already turned back. That reaction time is awful. Next thing, you're caught. You're 100% caught. Don't just hit this Ez. Just try to chunk him. You get 2 lucky crits, you might even kill him. I mean, you're dead. You're not going to run from this. Do damage. Try to kill them if you're dead. Whoa, I need to... So that's a misplayed team fight by you right there. It was a good team fight, and then the other thing is that at the end of the day, if you don't get those kills, you've defended them, which is fine. But now because you got caught out there and you're dead, you lose an inhibitor. So kind of a bad situation by you right there. That half-second reaction time where you're going aggressive and chasing this Nasus because you think he's running away, and then he turns on you, and it takes you half a second to react to that, costs you your life. 100%. Like, you could have survived that if you just turned away fast enough. Especially considering you still had Ghost. So once again, I just want to point out in this game, your Ghost has done almost nothing for you this entire game. I think every time that you use Ghost, it's because you're already dying and it doesn't save your life, you just instantly die. So I just want to say... your Ghost hasn't helped you at all this game. I've yet to see the reasoning behind picking Ghost. I've yet to see it be impactful in this game. So that Negatron I'm hoping is a QSS. QSS for Nasus Wither would be a really big deal for you. Even a Banshees, because you really shouldn't get touched if you don't get Nasus Withered or Leona ulti, so even a Banshees might be a very good idea this game. But anyway, pretty much as long as you're alive, you're going to win fights, and you need to stay alive no matter what. You can two-shot Ezreal. He can probably also two-shot you, though. He's getting really strong. He has finished his Mana Mine, or what is it called? Mirror Mana. His Mirror Mana is upgraded, so he's pretty scary. So enemy team is in your base and you're farming bot, which is not good. You didn't even end up saving bot. So poor map positioning by you. You went bot for no reason. You emptied all of your mana, you went bot, you didn't even stop bot from dying, and you weren't able to stop their push. And it looks like this might be game actually. Unless you can pull some magic and defend this. Oh, Leona ease it down. Go, 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 go! You gotta stop him. So that was your time to shine when Leona E was down. Um, right. Lost the game. So, first thing, take barrier, please. Ghost never helped you this entire game. Ghost was a completely useless summoner spell. And on that note, flash early. You gotta flash early. I think every single flash you did also didn't save you. Every flash you did was like, oh my god, I'm withered, Nasus and Leona are on me, now I need to flash. So recognize, and this is part of, you need to recognize a dangerous situation before it happens. You need to recognize, oh, if I get hit by this Leona E, I'm going to die, so I have to flash it. You need to recognize, if this Nasus gets close enough to wither me, I'm going to die, so I need to flash away before he withers me. Flash is not helpful if the only time you flash is when you're already guaranteed to be dead. No reason to have it. So, in fact, you're just wasting your summoner spell. So flash early. Ghost early too. It goes the same way with Ghost. Why your Ghost was so useless is because you used it so late every single time. You didn't use it to kite around and keep maximum distance from the Nasus. You did it because, oh god, Nasus already withered me. Help, I'm gonna Ghost. So summoner spells, big thing. Take barrier, please, or just start using your summoner spells better. Preferably both. Next thing is laning. Be more aggressive with poking in a lane like this. You have to help back up your support in poking, and I talked about why. This forces the enemy Leona to either not do anything and let Ez get 2v1 with poke, or it forces her to try to have presence in the lane just by like kind of scaring you off, which means you can 2v1 poke her, or it forces her to try to all in, which is risky. If you have minions, you're going to have a minion advantage when they fight you, etc. Later on in the game, this lane becomes a skill matchup, and you have to dodge Leona's abilities. There's that one time where you got hit by her ult down here. If you dodge that ult, you kill them. The other thing is CSing. You had very little pressure on you to CS almost the entire laning phase, and you had a lot of ganks to come help you, and you end up going even in lane. That's not good. You have to CS better. You have to just CS better. That would have won you the lane right there if you just CS better. That's a really, really big thing. And just like I said, it was you laned for 2.5 minutes without ever auto attacking the Ezreal against a Leona. That's bad. If you go 2.5 minutes without ever auto attacking, harassing them, that's not good. You need to harass that lane. Just team fights. I kind of talked about summoner spell usage. I feel like with the proper summoner spell usage, you really would have carried your team through those team fights. But instead, you were constantly getting caught out, constantly getting forced by the Nasus, etc. Just gotta manage your summoner spells properly. And then this end game thing, like it sucks your team got caught, but they also had like 4 people deep mid like this, and you're wandering from here to here bot tower. Don't even stop the bot tower wave, then you just kind of walk back. You're like, I still don't have mana, but I'm walked back, and it took me so long, everyone's dead. So I recognize when there's 4 people mid, and they're collapsing on your Zyra right here in your base, and you're over here in the jungle, don't go bottom. Recall immediately. Buy home guards as soon as you can, and get in there. Okay, so I think that's all for today, but thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Twitch, and all that fun stuff. So, thanks guys. Oh, also, go CLG. CLG versus TSM today, versus free SM. Let me rephrase that. And go CLG, because I do love some CLG.